that is joining in. I hope everybody's having a great day. We're going to be talking about improving our. Oh, okay. Can everybody hear me? My Wi-Fi is kind of messing up. Hey, how are you today? If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the comments, or you can tap the screen just to make sure that my connection is doing well. And because I just got a notification that my connection was lost for a second. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So if you can put a 1 in the comments, or you can tap the screen for me just to make sure that you can hear me and everything is going well. I see people joining in, so I'm hoping that y'all can hear me. But today we're going to be talking about improving our eating habits so that we can balance our hormones and we can stop weight fluctuation. Because it's in improving our eating habits so that we can balance our hormones and we can stop weight fluctuation. Because we don't want to be sitting here with all these issues with weight fluctuation, because I know that I dealt with that for a very, very long time, with my weight not balancing and being at a stable weight. It would go from 1 minute I was over 200 pounds to the next minute I was around 190s, and like it kept going back and forth and back and forth, and I could never stay at a stable weight. Regardless of how active I was, I still couldn't stay at a healthy weight. And I could never stay at a stable weight. Regardless of how active I was, I still couldn't stay at a healthy weight. And so I never understood why in the world I could never stay at a balanced weight until I understood what was going on with our food and understood what we're doing today. These toxic things that are going on inside of your body are not being supported. And so, excuse me, I need some water. And so we have to understand that we're not consuming in moderation when things are piling on inside of our body. When toxic chemicals from the foods that we're consuming are piling up inside of us, we are inflamed, and it's leading us to inflammation, and inflammation leads us to diseases and cancer. And so we have to understand that we have to improve our eating habits in order for us to have weight balance, for us to stop having weight fluctuation. And then we're also going to talk about how the fact that weight fluctuation and balancing hormones go hand in hand, because the imbalance that you're having with the weight fluctuation with the foods that you're consuming leads you to having hormonal imbalances, you having hormonal issues. And your renal gland and your pineal gland are connected. And when your renal gland is not balancing your hormones, whether you're having an overproduction of estrogen, a lack thereof when it comes to women, because we have a lot of women in here right now, we have to understand that our renal gland is not functioning the way that it should, because our renal gland gives us that, okay, we need more estrogen, okay, we don't need that much estrogen, and it's telling our body at the certain times of our cycle when it's time to have an overdominance, when it's time to have a less amount, when it's supposed to be, counteracting with our progesterone. And so when our body is imbalanced from our eating habits, we have to understand that our weight is going to be progesterone. And so when our body is imbalanced from our eating habits, we have to understand that our weight is going to be fluctuating, our systems inside of our body are going to be off, and we're going to be sitting here struggling, all because of the food that we are consuming. Because food is medicine. Food should be used as our medicine. And when we aren't using food as our medicine, we are literally harming us and poisoning ourselves with the things that we are consuming. And so we have to realize that when you are sitting here dealing with a hormonal issue, when you're sitting here dealing with a whole bunch of excess fat, bloating, you're sitting here developing all kinds of diseases. You have heart disease, you're developing insulin resistance, you have diabetes, you're sitting here with all of these issues like what did I name? PCOS, we're having fibroids. You have to realize that these are all tied to your food habits. It's not the only thing that's affecting you, but it's the main thing that is causing the issues that are going on inside of your body. And if you start to use food as your medicine and learning how to balance your body with the food that you are consuming, you'll start to realize that, one, your body has been so imbalanced for so long and it's been thrown off. And since it's been so thrown off, it's been struggling for so long, you're in fight or flight mode, and it's time for you to realize that and to release it and to start learning how to support yourself. And so that is what this live is going to be about. This is what we're going to talk about today. This is how we're going to understand how improving our eating habits are going to not only allow us to balance our hormones, but they're also going to allow us to stop the weight fluctuation. And for everyone that is joining that does not know me, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I help women, especially men too, but women especially, understand what's going on inside of their food, understanding the products that we're using and how they're harming us. And right now, our current focus is just understanding how weight fluctuation and how our food is connected and how we're going to be able to balance our body overall if we start to realize that the food that we are consuming is not supporting us and we have to use food as medicine. And so our goal for ourselves, and my goal is to help women right now currently to improve their eating habits so that they can balance their hormones. And so if you are someone who is suffering from hormone imbalance, or if you're suffering from weight fluctuation and you just do not understand how to support yourself, you don't understand how to get to the space where your weight's not fluctuating, you're supporting your body, you're feeling good, you're looking good, then I can support you in getting that space. It is time for us to realize that the food that we are consuming with this fast food, the things that we're consuming when it comes to what is normal, what is fit and deemed as our culture, is something that we are okay to eat, that is okay to consume, that we are sitting here eating McDonald's, Burger King. We're going to all these chain restaurants, Red Lobster. We're sitting here eating all this crap from like, we are sitting here eating McDonald's, Burger King. We're going to all these chain restaurants, Red Lobster. We're sitting here eating all this crap from like Cheddar's. We're going to Outback Steakhouse, all these places that do not give us quality food. They taste. We're going to Outback Steakhouse, all these places that do not give us quality food. They taste good, but they're not giving us quality food. We're sitting here going, if y'all can hear me, my thing is saying that I'm having poor connection. My life, yeah, I'm trying to connect to the Wi-Fi to see if that'll help. Is this helping a little bit better? Can you guys put a 1 in the comments if it's better, if you can hear me, if everything is working and flowing again, and I will continue. I hope it is. I really do. I hope it is. For everyone who is here in the chat, please let me know. Is the connection better now? Is it doing good? You can tap the screen. You can leave me a 1 in the comments, whichever one will work fine for me. I just want to make sure that we are good to go to keep going, because I don't want you to miss this content. And okay, thank you for tapping the screen. Okay, so it's good. It's going good. I want to make sure, because I don't want y'all to miss the content. And I know that like my connection is being very spotty today. So like I said, if you're just joining in, if you're just joining the live, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. Okay, I'm on the right track. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. So I want to give you the tools and the steps for you to be able to understanding how to use food as medicine, understanding how to support your body. And so if you are here today because you want to know how can you improve your eating habits so that you can balance your hormones. If you want to stop the crappy weight fluctuation, because we've all been there and nobody likes their weight fluctuating. Nobody wants to be sitting here 1 minute feeling like they're losing weight and the next minute they're gaining all their weight back. Because I was once there where I was sitting there and I couldn't figure out why in the world 1 minute these shorts fit, the next minute they don't. 1 minute I'm sitting here thinking I'm losing weight and I'm stepping on the scale and I'm feeling good. I go back a week or two later and it seems like I gained all the way back and some, and didn't change any of my eating habits. So it was truly confusing me of what was going on with my body. And then I started to realize that I'm sitting here eating big Texases. I'm sitting here, working out, but I'm eating a bunch of meat, not knowing, one, where it's coming from, what's going on with it. Because if you're not doing any research behind the meat that you're consuming, you don't really know where it's coming from. You don't know what the animals are consuming before they're slaughtered. You don't have any confidence in what you're consuming. And so, like, meat tastes good, but that's all flavoring. And so we have to understand that if there is something going on inside of your body is speaking to you and telling you there's an imbalance, there's something happening, and that we have to start figuring out what that imbalance is, where it's coming from, what is happening with what's going on inside of our body. And so if you are at the space where you want to know what's going on inside of your body, I got you. I can support you with this. And so if you are here and you want to stick around to the end, because I'm going to be sharing with you an amazing program that is going to be designed to help you to reparent the habits that you have, reparent the relationship that you have with food, so that you can achieve the balance that you need with your hormones, with your weight. All of these things are achievable. It starts with you taking action so that you can get there. And so if you want that for yourself, stick around to the end, because that is where we're going to work our way as. That is our goal, for us to understand how we can get to that space. And so the first topic that we're going to talk about for us balancing our hormones and understanding how to balance our weight fluctuation and getting just overall balance with our body is knowing what kind of mindset we're going into this lifestyle with. Because if you're currently sitting there thinking like, you're going to be eating salads all the time. You're not going to be sitting here enjoying the food that you're consuming. If you're going to be putting a negative connotation to it, one, you're not going to stick with the lifestyle. And two, you're going to literally dread what you're doing for yourself and you're not going to stick with it. You're going to put a diet culture to the lifestyle that you're trying to establish because this is a lifestyle change. It's not diet culture. And I do not like diet culture. I don't like saying diet. I like saying lifestyle change. And the reason why is because when you look at the one word and break it into two, it's diet. You do diet. This is what this culture is. It's diet culture. And so when you break that into two words, it's saying diet. What is dying and who is the it? So if you are the person that's sitting there thinking that you are doing a diet, you are literally saying diet. I don't know what's dying. I don't know what you're categorizing as it. But in my mind, from my experience, it's putting a negative connotation and it's kind of putting like positively reinforcing the negative, if that makes sense. Because honestly, you're just literally killing the lifestyle that you want. You're killing the motivation that you have by putting a diet to it. And that's the mindset that I have because I never got the change that I needed until I changed the lifestyle that I had. And so once I changed my lifestyle, I got out of diet culture, but got into lifestyle changes. That's when I started to see the difference. That's when I started to see the change and the transition in my lifestyle. And I started to see the improvements in the lifestyle that I was having. And so mindset is important. Mindset is key when it comes to you wanting to change your lifestyle and change your habits because you have to have the right mindset of that you want healthier habits for yourself, that you want to establish the lifestyle that you deserve. And that starts with you understanding how to support and take care of your body. And so if we are at the space where I have to get this eyelash out of my eye, y'all, I'm sorry. I gotta get this. And so if we are at the space where I have to get this eyelash out of my eye, y'all, I'm sorry. I gotta get this. And we want that support for ourselves. It starts with us. This thing keeps turning red. I might have to end this live and start again. I really don't want to. But I'm trying to make sure that y'all can hear me and everything is going well because it keeps giving me. Okay, it says I have good connection now. Okay. Hopefully it stays that way. But we want to understand the importance of having a positive mindset in this lifestyle because if we are going to be negative, but if it's not so, you are putting a negative perception on the lifestyle change that you want for yourself because it's going to take time. It's going to take time for you to change. It's going to take time for you to change your habits and change your ways. But it starts with you realizing that the habits that you currently have are not supporting you. And since they're not supporting you, how are you going to make small lifestyle changes and habit changes that are going to support you through that? How are you going to do this for yourself? How are you going to get in the space that is going to allow you to be healthy and get away from the unhealthy eating that you're currently doing? And so if your self-perception is that you can do this, you're positive about it, that you want this lifestyle change for yourself, you deserve the lifestyle change for yourself, then you are going to have a positive self-perception around it because how you view yourself also tailors to what you're consuming and how you're consuming. Because if you sit there and think that you're overweight, you're fat, you're unhealthy, that you're never going to be able to do this lifestyle for yourself, you're never going to be able to do this, your food choices are going to reflect that because your mindset is going to reflect that. Your food choices are going to tell you that you don't want to be healthy and you can't be healthy. So you're going to sit there and eat the junk all the time. You're going to be consuming a bunch of red dye, a bunch of sodium phosphate, a bunch of titanium dioxide, things that are literally toxic and poisoning your insides. You're going to be eating the unhealthy things because you're sitting there telling yourself subconsciously and consciously that you can't be healthy. You can't stick with a diet. You can't stick with a lifestyle. And you're believing in diet culture because diet culture is momentary. A lifestyle change is something that you're going to stick with and you're going to do for the rest of your life. And so your self-perception, either negative or positive, is going to influence how you're going to consume. And so if you sit here and you think that you're going to have to eat salads all day, you're going to be hungry all day, you're going to hate the lifestyle that you're trying to live, you are going to put a negative connotation on it, which is going to subconsciously and consciously make you choose negative habit patterns, go back to the old lifestyle that you have. But if you have the positive perception of believing that you can do this and you will do this, you'll start to implement the small lifestyle changes that are going to support you in getting in the space for you to be healthy. You're going to be doing the small lifestyle changes that lead you to the big changes later on in your life. And so regardless of what relationship that you have had with food, what kind of parenting habits that you've had when it comes to food, whether it's from peers, it's from your lifestyle, whether it's from your household, whether it's from the schools that you were raised in, the environment that you were raised in, whatever it is, your relationship with food was something that was consciously programmed in you, subconsciously programmed in you. And so we have to get into the space of parenting, deprogramming, reparenting the habits that we have around food so that we can support ourselves. Because if we are sitting here consuming and not consciously consuming, we are going to be sitting here making ourselves sick. We are going to be sitting here making the terrible conscious choices when it comes to what we're consuming, and we're going to be sitting here making ourselves ill. We're leading ourselves from to diseases because we're inflamed on the inside, and we're leading ourselves to having cancer. And so we have to understand that our relationship with food is everything, because food should be used as medicine. Food is medicine, food is fuel. But if we're sitting here consciously and subconsciously consuming and not understanding the toxic ingredients that are in our food, not understanding how to support our body, we are literally going to be poisoning ourselves and making ourselves sick. And so we have to be mindfully aware of what we're consuming and mindfully and making ourselves sick. And so we have to be mindfully aware of what we're consuming and mindfully here, being mindful when we eat, while we're eating, and what we're eating. Then we are not helping ourselves make better choices. We are not supporting ourselves in making better choices. And so it starts with us wanting to make a better choice for ourselves, wanting the health that we need. And so if you are sitting here hungry and eating because you're bored, and you're sitting here eating because you're stressed out, you have to realize that, are you really hungry, or are you just bored? Are you really hungry, or are you just stressed out? You have to pinpoint the times that you were eating outside of just a normal meal. Because when I got to the space of me knowing how to consciously consume and consciously be aware of what I'm doing and knowing how to consume so that I'm supporting my body, I got to a space to realize that, like, a lot of times I was eating because I was bored and I was stressed. I was eating for comfort and not eating because I was actually trying to fuel my body. I was just eating because it was something to do. I was eating because I was stressed out. I was eating because, I knew I hadn't eaten in a long time and I knew that I needed to eat something, but I wasn't eating to fuel my body. I was eating just to fill it. And so when I got out of the space of just eating just to fill my body and fill my stomach, I realized that making mindful choices allowed me to get in the space of being healthy. It allowed my body to heal. It allowed me to be supported overall. And through that support, I started to heal. My body started to heal, because your body is a healing vessel. If you do not understand that, your body is blocked if it's not healing, because your body should be constantly healing, because you should be constantly giving it the foods that it needs to heal. And so if it's not healing, like my body wasn't at one point, then there's something that's blocking it, and it's off, and it's throwing you off, and it's making you ill. It's making you not heal. And so we have to change our habits in order for us to be healing. And so if you are at the space where you know that you need healing, you know you need that support, then you come get the help that you need with me, because I can support you in doing that. And so strategies that help you improve your mindset starts with you first understanding how to use the positive mindset that you can have, and be consciously aware of being positive, because there are going to be not times where you're going to have challenges and you're going to want to sit there and think about negative things. It's about reprogramming your negative thoughts into positive ones by stopping that thought, because your first thought is, let's say you break your healthy streak for so long that you've been having, and you're sitting here like, okay, I've been healthy for so long, and now I've eaten a bag of chips and I haven't eaten these chips in forever, and now you feel bad. Instead of you sitting there thinking like, I'm terrible at this, I can't do this, I suck, I've failed at this, whatever negative thing that you're thinking, because you're sitting there putting a negative connotation because that was your old mindset. And rather stopping that thought in its tracks and sitting there saying, you know what, I did mess up. And I understand that I messed up. And my body was craving that, and I gave into a craving. Now that I've given into that craving, I'm no longer going to go to the store and buy that so that I don't give into that craving anymore. I'm no longer going to sit here and make myself sick because I know that red dye is making me sick. I'm no longer going to sit here and consume these things that are making me ill because I know that they're making me ill. Instead of sitting there negative self-talk, throwing yourself under the bus, reprogram how you talk to yourself and realize that accidents happen. You have stumbling blocks. It's not a it's not a total restart on your progress because you mess up, but a total restart is you giving up. It's never a total restart until you give up. But if you are still wanting the healthy lifestyle, if you know that you deserve that healthy lifestyle, then you will sit there and talk to yourself with love and care. And you'll sit there and say, I do deserve a restart. I might have messed up, and that's okay. Instead of me telling myself something negative, I'm going to implement steps that are going to allow me to be supported, to say, I'm not going to sit here and poison myself anymore. I'm not going to eat those Takis anymore because they're making me sick. I'm not going to sit here and put myself in a position so that I can fall back on old habits. I'm going to make small changes to my pantry that are going to allow me to choose healthier habits. I'm going to make sure I'm stocked with vegetables. I'm going to make sure that I'm reading all my ingredient labels so that I know that, like, I can go out and get Simple Truths cookies and they're better than me going out and getting Chips Ahoy. Like, you're starting to implement things in your lifestyle that are going to support you in being healthy. And so that first strategy of you affirming what you want for yourself and making better choices for yourself are going to support you. And then mindfully eating, knowing what you're consuming is going to support you, because if you were sitting here consuming things and you don't know how to read your labels, you don't understand toxic ingredients, you don't understand mindful eating practices, then you are literally going to sit here and go back to your old habits. You're going to be eating things because you don't consciously know how to choose the things that are going to support you. You are going to be sitting here eating things that are poisoning you, that are toxic to your body, making you inflamed on the inside, because toxins make you inflamed, and inflammation leads you to disease and cancer. So you have to realize that you have to be mindful with what you're consuming, and you have to practice mindfulness with the food that you're consuming. And eating mindfully is going to allow you to stick with the lifestyle, make the changes that you need so that you can have the big lifestyle changes you deserve of being healthier, having balanced hormones, having the weight fluctuation go away and you having a balanced weight, your body being balanced internally so that you can externally show that. Because if you're not feeling vibrant, if you're not feeling energetic, if you're sitting here feeling and stressing, you're sitting here stressed out, feeling bad, you're sitting here with overweight, you're sitting here with PCOS symptoms, you're having, fibroids, high blood pressure, you're insulin resistant, have diabetes already. All of these things are signs your body is telling you are inflamed, and your body is telling you there's an imbalance, there's something off. And I know this because I was once there. I had asthma. I literally was inflamed so bad from the inside. I was having knee pain in 6th grade. Like 5th grade it started. By 6th grade I was wearing a knee brace. Like, had that all the way through. Was told at like 18, by 22 that I was going to have a knee surgery by my doctor. Like, if I kept playing sports. So I stopped playing sports. Like, had to sacrifice something that I love because of the inflammation that was going on inside of my body. My weight fluctuating constantly. And all because I was overeating toxic foods, consuming, not realizing what I was consuming, and not aware of the toxic ingredients that were inside of my food. And so we're going to move on to our next point, because this was a major thing that was for me, and I know for a lot of people, stress. Literally, there are billions of people on this earth that are overstressed when it comes to stressed out, when it comes to their work, just their lifestyle in general. And your habits from the lifestyle that you're living are literally making you stress on the inside. Majority of society does not understand that they are in fight or flight mode. Because if you look at society, fight or flight mode gets your what is it called, your metabolism lowers because it's too busy trying to figure out what's going on with your body. Your digestive system stops in its tracks because it's trying to figure out what's going on. And then on top of that, like, mentally you're going to be imbalanced because your body is struggling and your inside, your systems are not working the way that they should be. And so we have to understand that when our body is constantly in fight or flight mode, like majority of society is, because we can look and see anxious, depressed, sitting here having all of these issues with digestion. We're sitting here with all of these issues when it comes to us being balanced with our gut and our systems regulating where we're going to the bathroom normally. That's a sign of our body being fight or flight mode, because there's an imbalance, there's something going on, there's something off. And so we have to understand that our body gives us signs. Our body gives us signals saying that there is something going on. And when you are going from fight or flight mode from years, because I'm 25, and I can tell you that from the time that I had switched and from the time that before then, I was in fight or flight mode since probably before I could even remember. And it's because of the food that I was consuming and not getting enough nutrients. And so we have to understand that that fight or flight mode is putting stress on our body. And we all know what stress does to the body over time. We see it. It makes you look older. It internally ages you. It externally ages you. And you have to realize that the stress that we are putting on our organs, because they are doing all of these tests and studies on people's organs internally, majority of these people who are dying at earlier ages in life, and they're doing that now because it's becoming more prominent, people are unaliving from all these illnesses and diseases at earlier ages. They're starting to realize that these people's internal organs are triple times their ages that they are right now. Like, there are people who are dying in their 30s and their organs are hitting 60s and 70s in age. And so you have to look at that and realize that they were so internally stressed out, their organs were working triple time. And so they were triple their age internally. And so we have to look at that and realize that the habits that we have are literally stressing our body out to the point where it's working triple time. And so we're wondering why people are unaliving earlier and earlier. It's because we are literally making our body work triple time because we're malnourished, our systems are off, our gut is off, which is making our brain off, our brain is off, so we can't even make our body function the way that it should. Our digestive tract is not flowing the way that it needs to be. It's not functioning the way that it needs to be. And so we are internally aging ourselves with the habits that we have. And so being hormonally imbalanced is throwing you off and making your body internally stressed. Your weight constantly fluctuating is making you imbalanced, and you're making you stressed out internally, putting your body in fight or flight mode. Because one minute your body's sitting there thinking you're starving because you're losing a whole bunch of weight, so it's sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, now I have to hold on to this. And now you're gaining all the weight back plus some because your body's sitting here holding on to it, and you're still consuming the way that you do. So we have to realize that our eating habits are impacting us. Our external habits, when it comes to what we're doing for our stress and how we mentally cope, is literally making us imbalanced. And so if you were sitting here eating a bunch of toxic ingredients, toxic chemicals, you're eating things that are not supporting you, you have to address where the stress is coming from and what are you doing with that stress to manage it. Because I know, for instance, for me, stress was coming from, in the beginning, school, and then once I graduated, it came and it was fine and I was cool for a minute. And then stress started coming again when I started my job. And instead of me understanding how to cope with that and to deal with that, I started to do what I did and I knew how to do, was cope with food. And so I was eating, eating late, eating cookies, eating chips, eating sweet things. And because I love sweets, don't get me wrong, I still love sweets, but doing things that weren't supporting me, going and getting fast food because I'm tired, I'm stressed out, and I can't cook. I don't feel like cooking. I don't know what to cook tonight because I can't even mentally prepare myself to cook something. And so I didn't address the stress head on. I just kind of let it manage me. And so after literally over years of letting the stress manage me and me not managing the stress, I started to realize that it was a determining factor when it came to what was going on with my body, what going on with my hormones, my weight fluctuation. So as I started to become plant-based, that's when I shifted my lifestyle and I shifted how I was managing my stress and shifting my habits, because those small little changes that you have, that's how you get to the big lifestyle change that you deserve and that you want for yourself. And so once I got to the space of understanding that the eating habits that I had was not balancing my hormones and they were making my hormones imbalanced, and then they were also making my weight fluctuate, that made me realize that I was not coping with the stress how I needed to. And so I started to change the way that I was consuming, started to change my mindset around how if I had a stressful day, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure I take care of myself rather than just sitting here I can't do anything else. I started to realize that in order for me to take care of myself, I had to change my conscious thought so that I would subconsciously take the action towards what I needed to do for myself. Because especially when I first went plant-based, all I was thinking about is I can't prepare anything for myself early in advance. So what I'm going to do is for lunch, I'm going to go out and get French fries. I can't go out and get anything else. There's majority of the places don't serve anything that are vegan or plant-based that I can eat. So I'm going to go out and eat a whole bunch of French fries all the time. And then when I go home, I'll eat something healthy. And then I'll go home and then not feel like cooking once again and either go out to eat again or I'd eat a salad and then I'll still be hungry. And I can make me a loaded salad, but I'd still be hungry. And so then I started to do other things because I realized that wasn't supporting me. So I started to realize that basically fasting one was always my thing, but I started to realize that if I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to eat something that's going to support me and I know that I'm hungry for lunch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find local places, local vegan spots that were close enough for me to go. And if I'm late for work, I'll just have to tell them that I don't have any other options. If you're going to be able to feed me, then I'll be on time. And so I literally started to figure out different places. I was never late, but that was the mentality that I had to adapt to realize that my body is more worthy of this. I deserve more things than what I'm doing to myself currently right now. My body's more important than this job of me getting back on time. And so once I realized that I deserved more, I started to change how I was and I started to change my habits. And when I changed those habits, literally I was making it harder than what it needed to be because I wasn't even ever late back to work, but I had to get out of the space of fearing being late to work to get to these places that I needed to go so that I could get something to eat for myself, and started to realize that not only could I take care of myself in the lifestyle, but I also could take care of myself, not have to stress myself out, and support myself when I go home too, because I didn't have to sit here and have all of these things riding on my head thinking I haven't eaten today, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I'm sitting here with lack of nutrients because I haven't eaten anything, I'm sitting here trying to make myself fast, not realizing that I'm literally starving, and I'm working with kids, and so like I'm feeding them all day and I'm not feeding myself. And so I took the stress out of what I was going to consume and started to focus on how I can consume to support myself rather than stressing myself out thinking, what am I going to eat? How am I going to eat? How am I going to get there? How am I going to do it? And so I started to realize that, first of all, those high stress levels were not helping me at all, because if you don't know, high stress levels, they increase your cortisol, and cortisol makes you gain weight. Like, it makes you gain weight because it literally is your body's stress response to holding on to the weight. And so my high stress levels were making my cortisol levels super high. And once I got out of the space of stressing myself out as much as I was, let me tell you, like, it supported me like no other. I think I went on a fruit cleanse for like a week. I lost like 15 pounds in that week, and I wasn't even planning. Like, I was like, 5 minimum. Like, I mean maximum. I was like, I'll probably lose like 5 pounds. You can lose 3 to 5 pounds in water weight. So that's what I'm thinking. I lost 15 pounds after I had stopped stressing myself out for months, and then decided it was time for me to do a cleanse after I had gotten comfortable enough with my fasting, and I knew that I could stick with it and be around other people eating food and not fall back into my old habit patterns of consuming just because at the end of the day, like, even though I was plant-based in the beginning, I still was consuming and not realizing that I was not giving my body all the nutrients that I need, because at the time I was labeling myself as vegan. I didn't understand the plant-based lifestyle. And so as I got into the space, and then I think I was like two years in, I want to say, and I had done my first like actual like straight fruit, no fruits and vegetables, nothing, just like straight fruit only for the week cleanse, and I did it for a week, and I did it for 7 days straight. I lost 15 pounds, and then on top of that, like, it stayed off. It wasn't like one of those things where I lost some weight and it didn't stay off. I literally lost weight and it stayed off, and I felt amazing. And so through that, like, I realized that, like, through the changes that I made, it was emotional eating was a big struggle for me, and I stopped emotionally eating. And stress management was something that I had to incorporate, and the majority of society does not incorporate enough that they have to manage the stress that they're having and that they're going through. And so the third point that we're going to be addressing, we're going to be talking about, is toxicity in the body. Because we have to understand that, like I say, every single live, and if you have not checked out my lives, you can go check out my lives. They are all posted after this on my YouTube. You can go check out my live and see and understand that, like, the food that you are consuming are making you toxic on the inside, and cancer thrives on toxicity. If you are inflamed on the inside, cancer thrives on the inflammation, because inflammation comes from toxicity. And so if you have developed cancer, or anybody in your family has developed cancer, look at their habits and look how they eat, they have been eating in the past. See how they've eaten in the past. Connect the dots and understand that toxicity in the body literally leads you to developing cancer. And so if they have had cancer, or they have cancer, or anybody in your life that has had cancer, look at their food habits, the things that they consume, the things they put on their body, and look and see and compare and see what is toxic in their lifestyle or your lifestyle. And you'll start to see what was building up. There are a number of different things that can build up and cause toxins inside of your body. And if you are not releasing on the regular, that is how you develop cancer, because you are constantly inflamed. And cancer feeds constantly on that inflammation. And so you have to understand that toxins play a role in you being balanced hormonally and you be having weight balance. If your weight is fluctuating constantly, if your hormones are imbalanced, that toxicity that's going on inside of your body plays a huge role in why you are imbalanced. And so if you were sitting here with toxic foods, you're sitting here with a toxic environment, you are literally wreaking havoc on your own hormones and your own weight, because you are literally not understanding what you're doing. You're not understanding how your own habits are poisoning you, because you are poisoning yourself. Your habits are poisoning you. And so we have to understand like things like processed foods are not supporting us. Processed foods, GMOs, us sitting here consuming all of this inflammatory dairy, they are making us toxic on the inside. They're not supporting us. And so processed foods contain harmful additives and ingredients and preservatives that are throwing off our hormones. You have to understand that. And if you don't, look at the ingredients. And if you don't know how to start reading your labels, I have an amazing Purge the Poison E-Book that is only $11 that is showing you common toxic ingredients that are throwing you off in balance and making an imbalance happen in your body. And it's because of titanium dioxide, sodium phosphate, all these dyes. You're sitting here eating citric acid, not realizing that citric acid is literally made from mold. The majority of the citric acid that they are giving you and they're allowing you to consume because it's easy and cheap to make, it's made from mold, black mold at that. And so people don't even realize that. And you look at majority of the things that you have in your pantry that are processed foods, that are snacks and things like that, all of them have citric acid in it. And you're sitting there not knowing you are consuming 10 to 20 things a month with citric acid in it. And you're sitting here saying you're consuming in moderation, so there's no way that you can be this unhealthy. Not realizing that you are making yourself toxic and inflamed on the inside, because we all know what mold does to your body. We all know how mold affects us. Mold is not supposed to be consumed. You're not supposed to be exposing yourself to mold every single day, multiple times a month. You know that. And so when you're sitting there consuming something that has mold added into it to prevent it from molding, you are literally adding mold into your life. You're consuming mold. And so there's no way that you can not be inflamed on the inside consuming something that is mold, that is making you toxic on the inside. And cancer feeds off of toxicity. So we have to understand that. And so the reason why our hormones are so imbalanced, the reason why our weight is fluctuating so much is because we do not understand how we are making ourselves toxic on the inside. And so we have to wrap our brain around that and what toxicity is doing and how it's happening and how it's functioning inside of our body. And we're keeping it functioning inside of ourselves. And so outside of environmental toxins, because we all know that like the environment can be toxic, and we understand what people are starting to understand microplastics and pesticides and pollutants. And if you are one of those people that you do not know how to get them out of your body, I do have an amazing cleansing and detoxing guide that will support you in understanding heavy metal detoxing, microplastics, and understanding anti-inflammatory health, fruits and vegetable cleansing. Like, it is 7 books total, but 6 guides with a template guide. So it's 7 books total that are all in one bundle that support you in understanding how to get yourself successfully reset and cleansed, like I did for myself, without tinctures, without all this unnecessary crap, just using fruits and vegetables as your medicine, because food is medicine. And understanding how to support yourself, because we all should know how to take care of our body and get to back to the healing state that our body needs to be in. And if your body is not constantly and consistently healing, there's a block. And so we have to understand that there are environmental toxins all around us, from plastic, pesticides, pollutants, and they affect our hormones, and we have to make a change and a shift. But it starts with the food that we're consuming, and it starts with the things that we're putting inside of our body so that we can externally take care of ourselves. And so if you don't have any type of understanding when it comes to like detox strategies, first thing that you have to understand, even outside of you buying my cleansing and detoxing bundle, is that you have to be clean eating. You have to be eating clean. And you eating clean is you getting back to the basics and learning how to live a lifestyle of eating plant-based foods. Because I am plant-based and I have been this way for over 3.5 years. And I will not be going back to eating dairy, consuming meat, and all of those inflammatory, toxic additives and ingredients that are inside of my food, because it has supported me so much in healing my asthma, my knee pain, getting uninflamed so that my weight will stop fluctuating. So my weight is at a normal weight and I feel good. And honestly, I look better than I ever have. And so understanding that, like, you have to eat good and stop consuming processed foods that have a bunch of additives in it. I'm not saying that I don't go to the grocery store and still get a box of cookies and things like that, but I go get things that I know that do not have a bunch of crap in it. I eat the Siete brand, their chips, because I know their chips are not made from grains. They're not made from any GMOs. They're made from good, wholesome ingredients. Same thing with like Simple Truth snacks and things like that. You have to start reading your labels and understanding that in order for you to, first of all, flush your system and get into that space, you need to be eating more water-based fruits and drinking your water. You cannot do any type of detox and cleanse if you're not sitting there flushing your system. There's nothing that's going to work better than you flushing your system with water. Water-based fruits, water itself. Either way, and you do not need to be consuming water from water bottles because, like I said, microplastics. You need to be investing in some type of water filtration, whether it's you buying into something that is going to be stabilizing your home, or you sitting there and getting something like I have. Let me show you. I have this amazing water bottle. This is by Epic Water Filters, and it's literally a water bottle with a filter on the inside. This is their old filter. Now they have a this is an outdoor filter, and they used to sell an outdoor and a regular filter, but now they sell only like full filters, like outdoor, indoor, and I have those, but I still had some of the old filters, so I'm using those up. And so it's a charcoal filter, and I can fill up anywhere I want. Anywhere I go, I have water and I can fill up. And so it not only filters out all the crap for where I can fill it up with tap water and things like that, but it's giving me that charcoal added back into it. And so things that are supporting you, brands that are supporting you, that's what you need to be spending your money on. Not McDonald's, not Burger King, not Red Lobster, not you sitting here going to Chili's, Outback, all these chain corporations, these companies that do not care about you. You eating Chips Ahoy, you sitting here getting Sour Patch Kids, you eating Kraft anything. Because if you have not seen that, it was going around a couple of months ago. You want to see it again? A couple months ago, Kraft literally came out and was talking about the fact that they only clean their equipment for their cheese once a month, and it's inspection time. And this is cheese, so we know cheese molds if it's not in the fridge, if it's sitting on the equipment and it's molding. And they said they know that it molds, and all the higher ups tell them that they don't worry about the mold inside the equipment, because at the end of the day, they color the cheese anyway. It's going to be mixed in with the other cheese, so they're not going to be able to tell that it's mold. That's what they said about the consumers. They're not going to be able to tell that it's moldy. And so you have to realize these companies do not care about you, and they even admitted it, because they get inspections on like the 20th or whatever. They said they don't clean the machines till the 19th. It's like every 15 days they said they clean them. Yeah, every 15 days. And if they know that they don't get an inspection till the 19th or whatever, the 20th, they're not cleaning it in that time period. So they're waiting literally until the inspection and then ramp up how their cheese production, clean it before inspection. That's scary. Like, you should not be consuming that junk. And so this is the water bottle for you wanted to ask. This was the bigger one. They have smaller ones that are like probably about like this size, but I got the biggest one just so, and you can see how big it is. Like, I got the biggest one just so I have water anywhere and I don't have to really worry about filling up often. They have different designs and everything like that, but it's called Epic Water Filters, and they're absolutely amazing. I'm not sponsored. I just love the brand. Like, overall, they have water pitchers. They don't just have the water bottles. They have water pitchers for your fridge. They have ones for your shelf, for your counter. Like, I truly love the brand. And so you have to understand that we are not supporting ourselves with the things that we're consuming. Do I add salt to my water? Sometimes. Like, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Like if I'm drinking straight like from home, like if I'm not drinking in that, yeah, because I don't want anything to mess up my filter. That's the only thing, because I don't know if I can put anything else in here, because I thought about also putting fruit in here at one point, but I don't want anything to mess up the filters because they're not expensive, but because they last 3 to 4 months, so that's pretty good compared to like buying water bottles and things like that. But I don't want to have to waste a filter just trying things out, because I don't know if you can add anything in your water when you're drinking in there. But I do drink like how I have a filter at home. I do drink water like this, and so like I'll put like my chlorophyll in it if I do that. Sometimes I put pinches of salt in it. It just depends. Like it really just depends. I just do different things. Like sometimes I put cucumbers in my water. It just depends. It's kind of a mood thing, but we have to understand that we have to be consuming, first of all, if we're consuming anything that is produce, it needs to be organic. Point blank, period. We are not consuming GMOs. We do not need to be consuming GMOs, because there's a study that came out, and I talked about this for multiple lives, and I will keep talking about this. There are studies that have come out that talk about the fact that GMOs, they produce a cell inside of your body that promotes cancer, that literally feeds cancer. And so people who want to argue and say that GMOs are supporting us and they're healthy, they're not. They are not. We have to get out of that mindset, and we have to release that, because we are being told these things because there's an agenda behind them wanting us to consume GMOs. There's an agenda why they need people to start consuming GMOs, because we're not going through a food shortage. If we're going through a food shortage, the reason why we're going through a food shortage is because we have all this greenery outside and not enough produce being produced. They want profit. They want money. And if you are sick, they make money off of you. If you are healthy, they cannot make money off of your healthy vessel, because you're not going to go to the doctor. You're not sitting there having to struggle. You're not sitting there making malnourished choices, because when you're nourished, you make the right choices. And you know this, because when you're hungry, what do? When you're hungry, you will use anything to fill your stomach. If you are sitting there hungry and your stomach is growling to the point where you're like, this hurts, you go and get anything. But when you've eaten something and your stomach is full and you start to kind of feel hungry, and let's say it's been lunchtime, you know that you have to go cook dinner, you're going to make a good choice and be like, you know what, I do have plenty of time for me to cook dinner. And you're going to make something healthy. But if you know you're out and you're starving and you have had nothing to eat, you're going to go to McDonald's. You're going to go to Burger King. You're going to go and you're going to go grab a GMO fruit. Like, you're going to grab things that you don't ask any questions about. And so you have to realize that there is an agenda, and the reason why these things are so easily accessible to you is so that you make these poor choices, so that you keep making yourself sick. It's all a ploy. It's all a plot, and you have to understand that. And I talked about, I think in my last live, I don't know if I don't think it's posted on YouTube yet, but it will be. It will be in a couple of days. You have to realize the agenda, because fast food was not. It was not accessible to everybody back in the day. That's all I'd say. Back in the 60s. And I'm not going to dive into this because I dove in it last time. But you have to understand that it was only in a certain neighborhood back in the day. And then they started pushing it towards urban neighborhoods. And as we see, the fluctuation has changed, where it was only, at first, it was only Caucasians eating fast food. And now it's, they barely eat it, and only ethnic people eat it. Only people of a certain ethnicity eat fast food. They eat a whole bunch of fast food, rather, because every now and then, but a whole bunch of it, to the point where they're making the profit that they need. And so you have to put that together and realize these things, and start to wonder why it's so easily accessible in certain neighborhoods, why you see certain fast food in certain neighborhoods, why you don't see certain fast food in certain neighborhoods. Like, it's all a agenda, it's all a plot, it's all a ploy. And so we have to understand that things like our home training, our peers, our society have all tailored our eating habits, and have all tailored the things that we are consuming and how we're consuming and what we view as normal for our consumption. And so if we are sitting here eating crap all the time, like we have been trained like this. We have been programmed like this. And it's time for us to reparent our habits and reprogram this to the healthy habits that we deserve and that we need for ourselves. And so how our background, as far as our peers, our home training, our society, is all shaping our eating habits and what we're consuming, and how imbalanced we are when it comes to our hormones, when it comes to our health, when it comes to our weight. Like, we have to connect those dots. And if you have not connected those dots for yourself, then I'm here to help you connect those dots. And all of my free content that is on YouTube is here to help you connect those dots, because you have to understand that our eating habits are not supporting us, and our eating habits are making us sick. And the culture that we've been raised in, not saying that there's anything wrong with having culture when it comes to your food, but we have to realize that a lot of our culture is stemmed from us consuming like animals. It's consuming just to make it by and make it through, especially for people of color. Like, we have to understand that, especially as a black woman, we look at our habits, and when we get together and socialize, and you look and you see the things that we eat, we're sitting here eating chitlins, we're sitting here eating pig fat, like we're eating like things that we know that stemmed from slavery. And we have to realize that we're sitting here consuming these things still knowing that they were something that stemmed from slavery, and calling it culture, calling it our heritage. And it's like, we have to release that, because we're consuming like animals, and we were treated like animals then. And so if you sit there and you know that a pig eats anything, and you're sitting there consuming anything like a pig, you are literally putting yourself in the same category as an animal. And we know that they used to treat us like animals. So why do we keep consuming these things, knowing and consuming like animals, eating like pigs? It's time for us to quit. And so our food culture has to shift and has to change, because you can still make all the dishes that you love, because I make all the dishes that I used to eat and love in a plant-based form, and it's easy to do. It's just about understanding and shifting so that you can give yourself nutrients and still enjoy the food that you were consuming. It's not that hard. It's just about knowing how to do it for yourself. And if you don't know how to do any of these things for you, I can support you, and you need to leave me a DM, because I'm telling you, like, it's so simple and easy. It truly is. And so understand that the peer pressure that we have from society and the social settings that we get put into are not going to stop you from eating the way that you deserve and that you need. If you train and you program the habits that you need for yourself, if you train and you program the habits that you want for yourself, it's first understanding that what you've been doing is not supporting you. Point blank, period. It hasn't been supporting you. It hasn't been supporting the past. It hasn't been supporting your future. It hasn't been supporting anybody in your family. And so these people have fed into programming. They have fed into this little box of normal. And so it's time for us to release that little box of normal and to shift. And so even in social settings, you're going to be able to eat, you're going to be able to consume. It's just about setting yourself up for success, setting yourself up so that you're not sitting here feeling like a failure in the process of you wanting to be in your social settings, wanting to, go out and eat with your family, wanting to go hang out at the cookouts, but not knowing how to. But if you're sitting here consuming and understanding that, like, you're supporting yourself and balancing your hormones, you're supporting yourself and being healthy, then you will make the conscious choice of, okay, I know I'm going to hang out with my family this weekend. I'm going to make sure that I go and I make sure that I have something to eat. I know that we're going out to eat, so I'm going to eat before we go, or I'm going to make sure that, I have something to look forward to afterwards, so I don't go there and I'm not sitting here eating a bunch of fries, because that's what I would do. When I first switched, is like, if I knew that I was out, which I still would do this if I know that I'm out and I'm hungry, but I'll think that me going getting French fries is a meal that I'm going to consume. That's not a meal. That's not a meal at all. It's not supporting me. It's not giving me nutrients. Like, we have to understand that. And so I had to get out of that space of understanding that. And so there is no amount of societal peer pressure that made me want to switch back to the lifestyle, because people had questions. Had questions when I first switched, because I was doing this, nobody in my family has done this, so they had questions, and nothing that they could say, nothing they waved in front of my face made me change, because I had seen so much transformation in myself, and I had seen how positive it was. I had done research. I seen all the research that how it helped others. It helped people be able to heal themselves. People healed themselves from cancer without doing any chemo, like things like that. And I had seen so many different people in people in my family get sick from cancer, having high blood pressure, diabetes, sitting here with heart diseases, of many different types of heart disease, having all of these different issues stemming inside of their body, going on, constantly inflamed. And I didn't want to be there, and I didn't want to leave myself there. So I started to realize that it started with me reparenting my habits. And so once I started repairing my habits, that's when I realized that, like, I truly was supported. So the benefits that I noticed up front for me, right off, was when I first started. Like I said, I've said this multiple times, and I've talked about the difference between like vegan and plant-based, was the fact that, like, once I started to shift from me eating meat, and then, like, first shifted off of meat. I didn't start off of dairy at first, but shifting off of meat allowed me to realize that like I didn't really have much of the itis feeling anymore. That was the first thing that I started to realize was like, especially now that I've been completely plant-based, like no meat, no dairy, no nothing after this long, the whole situation of the itis only comes to me like literally if I eat so much. Like I have to eat so much. Like now I can get full and I don't get the itis. Like I have to literally stuff myself overly for me to get the itis. I didn't have to do that much with meat for me to like, for me eating a normal plate is what categorizes normal for society, for me to get the itis. I'm Majority of the time I'm energetic, I'm flowing. I've been in this lifestyle for 3.5 years, but like I said, like that first year was trial and error. I started to really feel the shift, especially over this past year. And not only because I felt energetic, but after that first year of I want to say 6 months, first 6 months, I hadn't taken my inhaler. I had asthma, knee pain. I was sitting there with weight fluctuation, things like that. I didn't take my inhaler. I had renewed it when I first started the lifestyle just to make sure, I needed it and all this stuff, thinking that I needed it. I hadn't taken my inhaler in 6 months. It expired in a year. And then after that, like, I never took it again. I have not used my inhaler in years. I don't have any more knee pain. Like, when I tell you I can squat, like, I worked with kids for 5 years. So I can squat and stay in that squatted position, and I used to do it for 15 plus minutes. Like I used to clean the entire room up, and that take 15 20 minutes to clean up an entire room. And I could squat in every single section. I couldn't even squat more than 5 minutes in my like eating the way that I was before. And when I tell you, like, I had my knee lock up when I was at 18, I had never had and my knee lock up like the way that it did in my life. And when it locked up, I was scared. And so I knew something was wrong. My knee was locking up at 18. So I don't wear a knee brace anymore. I haven't worn a knee brace since I started playing sports. Like literally, I started playing sports and I had to wear a knee brace. I do not wear a knee brace anymore. I have started running recently. I've started back running. I think I've been running for a couple of months now. I do not feel any knee pain. The only time I ever feel knee pain is when I overexert myself a little too much, and it's not even that much. It's just kind of like a little uncomfortable feeling, and I massage it and I'm cool. Like literally, when I tell you like I feel good internally and externally, look good, like it has shifted me so much, because the knee pain was the main thing for me. Having all of that pain at a young age and not realizing that like it was stemming for how much inflammation that I have, then getting to this lifestyle, that had really truly showed me that like only reason why I was in so much pain was because my body was fighting itself internally. And then the same thing with weight fluctuation, because that's what this live is about, is us talking about weight fluctuation and hormone balancing. I've always had painful cycles. I've always had painful menstrual cycles. I'm still working with that, because after years of me being so imbalanced, I don't expect it to work overnight, but I can say that like it used to be days on end of me not being it. Like the first day was a terrible, second day would be terrible, third day like it would be kind of terrible, third day. Now the first day is like it's okay. First day I'm managing and it's happening. It's like mid second day that I start to feel like I have to rest. I just have to rest. Like that's just what it is. I just have to rest. But it's not like it used to be. Like it used to be where like it would to be to the point my teachers would look at me and tell me like I'd have to go home. Like they'd be like, it's time for you to go home. Like look at you. Like you look like you're about to pass out. And I knew I was about to pass out. And so my hormones were so imbalanced, and then like mental clarity that came with my hormones being balanced. Oh my goodness, I used to be so anxious. I used to be so anxious, and I would go through depression episodes. When I tell you now that like there are very like I have situational moments where I'm overthinking, but I cannot remember the last time that I was anxious. I definitely cannot remember the last time that I went through a depression episode. And my depression like what's happened last time that I went through a depression episode. And my depression like what's happening? What's happening? Okay, I was like, are you not gonna do it? I don't know why it does that sometimes. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I don't know why it does that sometimes. But I forgot. Oh, I lost my train of thought. But the mental clarity that I got, like it's been so long since I had gone through a depression episode, like, and truly it's been amazing. I'm so happy the fact that I haven't had that situation, because like I've never been on any medications. I've never been diagnosed, but like signs are there, symptoms are there, like the habits are there. Would literally be sitting there for like can't mentally form any clarity for myself for weeks on end because I was struggling so bad. And so once I got out of that space, not only was my mental clarity like stable and well, but like my weight fluctuation stopped completely. I was over 200 pounds. Like I think the highest that I got was like around 220s. And so like I was over 200 pounds at one point and then was going all the way down to like 198, 193s. Couldn't stay at a normal weight. Even when I got down to 186 at one point, I was sitting there thinking like, okay, this is it. Like I'm gonna be lower than 200s. Like this is it. This is how I'm gonna do it. And it never stayed. It never stayed that way. It was constantly. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh my goodness, it's still. Oh my goodness, hold on, y'all. I did not mean to do that. Okay, there it goes. I was like, what happened? Okay. But it was constantly fluctuating. My weight was constantly fluctuating. And so I couldn't figure out what was going on until I switched my lifestyle. And so once I switched, and now here I am, and I was talking about this yesterday, that I think I've gained weight just for the fact that like I've been doing like strength training and things like that. But I literally now at this point I've been down. I got down to 160, I think 163-ish. I've gained about 10 pounds since I've done weight training and everything. So I'm right now like at 173-ish. And so that's why I was like, I'm gaining weight. So I think it's honestly just like the weight training and everything that I've been doing, because like I said, I've been running and everything. I've been doing my cardio. I've been eating good. So it's just honestly, I feel like I'm just building muscle again. And it's easier to, gain muscle and to lose muscle than it is fat. But my goal is for me to be down to, my goal for myself is to get down to like 150s. I said 150s. And so that's going to happen. I'm not trying to force it. I'm not trying to rush it, but that's an amazing difference that I've had from me going from 220s and can never get out of the 220s to the 190s range, getting all the way down to 170. Like, absolutely amazing. And staying there is the key. Is staying there, is because I could never stay there. I got down there at one point when I was doing 2 sports at one time. I was doing diet culture, literally starving myself. Did it for 6 months and was there, and then gained it all back within 2 months. So like, me being here and staying here has been a blessing, has been an absolute blessing. And I praise the Most High because it's been such a blessing. And so understanding that like, I supported myself through the lifestyle, and I supported myself getting there by becoming aware. One, this is a strategy for you to understand how to reparent this relationship that you have with food, is understanding, one, what you are doing with the food that you're consuming and how you're consuming, and understanding and becoming aware of how your food in fact impacts your life, and understanding the influence that food has on you, and knowing how to support yourself through the food that you are consuming because you are aware of how you're consuming, and how food should be used as your medicine and not just something to consume, not just something to fill you, but to fuel you. And so through that awareness, you are going to start developing healthier habits for yourself. You're going to start developing new habits for yourself. You are going to understand how to stick with these habits because you're going to see the difference that it makes in your life, and you're going to want to stick with them. And then also you're going to feel the support system that you have built for yourself, so that you have the encouragement and you have the subconscious thought to keep doing what you're doing. Because like I said in the beginning, if you have a negative connotation around the lifestyle, you are not going to want to stick with it. If your lifestyle is making you sit here and view your life as negative, the lifestyle that you're trying to develop is negative, if you're believing diet culture is what's going to support you, you are going to have negative habits, a negative mindset. You are going to be negative around it, and you're going to do like you do diet culture. Do it momentarily for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then you're going to quit. We're not here to quit. We are here to stick with the lifestyle and to change our lifestyle. And if you are at the space where you know that you are ready for this, you are ready to change your lifestyle, you need hormone imbalance, you need to deal with the weight fluctuation that you have going on. Like, we have covered mindset, managing your stress, detoxifying your body, and repairing our relationship with food with this live. And it will be posted on my YouTube later on, and all my lives are posted on my YouTube after. But it's time for you to take control of your health and understand how to take control of your health and your hormones, and stop the weight fluctuation, just overall balance inside of your body. Because I did not have any balance, and I'm speaking this from experience, I had no balance. My body was completely imbalanced, and it was showing, it was reflecting, and it was reflecting for years. So when I gained that balance inside of my body, I started to see and feel clarity. I started to feel energetic. I started to see the energy that I had. I started to see the difference in the change in my body. And I started to see the difference in my weight fluctuation. And so everything balanced. And so if you are at the space where you know that you want this balance and you need this balance for you, I invite you to join my program that I'm starting. It is going to be a 6-week program that is going to support you in having accountability and having a personalized strategy that I'm going to help you tailor to the lifestyle that you have, so that you can develop this lifestyle at ease and not have to struggle, so that you can develop it with ease. And this 6-week program is going to allow you to make a change and to stick with it. Start with the small changes that lead you to the bigger lifestyle that is going to support you in getting in that space. And so if you are ready for transformation, if you are ready to start that for yourself, you can DM me. All my links are on my social medias, my Instagram, my Facebook, and don't forget also my YouTube. And don't forget to follow me on YouTube and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube after the replay, or if you have not subscribed and you're here on TikTok right now. I truly, truly hope that you can just understand that your health is tailored on the things that you're consuming. And if you're consuming a bunch of food and you're not aware what you're consuming, you are literally sitting here harming yourself. You're not supporting yourself, and you need to make a change and a shift. And so I'm here now to take questions for a couple of minutes. If you have any questions about living plant-based, balancing your hormones, understanding weight fluctuation, ask any of the questions that you have, so that I can support you now that you have me. And if you have any questions after I get off of live, my DMs are always open, like I say. But I hope that this has supported you. And if you have missed this live, then you can check all my lives out on YouTube. Any supplements, herbal teas, or fasting. I do not use any supplements. I talk about this a lot on my TikTok. I don't use any supplements to supplement any of the nutrients or the health that I need. I do strictly rainbow plate eating. Like, I eat my nutrients. I try to get my nutrients in all the food that I consume. Herbal teas, depends on what you're looking for. I do use herbs. I use loose leaf herbs. I don't use any tea bags or anything like that. And I have like a list of like different things, like literally everything that I have going on, just different things to deal with. I have a herbal medicine PDR, and I literally just go through that. I have a list of things of like all the herbs that I have in my home currently right now, and like what their functions are, what they do, what the benefits are, and things like that. And just go through there and just grab the herbs that I have. And then like for my herbal PDR, if I know that there's something going on and I'm like, let me look it up, and I'll look through there and I'll find new herbs to go get. I get all of my herbs usually off of Etsy, just for the fact that I used to get them locally, but I don't like the place that I used to get them from, so I stopped getting it from there, because they only give you like these little tiny, I don't have any access to it right now, it's kind of far back, but they have like these little tiny bags, and I can get like these big, like I get these from Etsy, these big bags from Etsy, and then I can get this big bag. I got this from Amazon. So it's like I can get bigger things, and they're all organic from different places. I just make sure that I buy them organic, and I make sure that like I read up on their what is it called, comments, and I ask questions and things like that if I have any questions about it. But majority of the people, they grow their own, and so like the people that are selling it, I don't have to worry about it being a big corporation trying to poison me or anything. Far as fasting now, I do go into fasting in detail on my detox and cleansing guide, but fasting for me, I fast every single day, intermittent, goodness, I couldn't get that out. I fast every single day far as that. And then far as fasting, I try to go at least 24 hours once a week, every 2 weeks, something like that, because I try to do at least once a week, but sometimes it doesn't pan out where I go a full 24 hours. But I do fast every single day. So, and outside of just sleeping, my YouTube is my YouTube is plant-based lifestyle strategist, just like it is on here. It's not the same picture though, but it is the same name. It's Kendra, plant-based lifestyle strategist. Kendra Robertson, plant-based lifestyle strategist. My ad is some kind of natural CO. I don't know why I made that more difficult. My ad is some kind of natural CO. But yeah, I do go into detail for intermittent fasting, but I don't 24-hour fast like every single day. Obviously not every single day, but I intermittent fast every single day. And in my cleansing and my detoxing bundle, I do go into that in detail. I have challenges in there. You can grab that ebook. All my links are in all my socials, my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook. And yeah, so does anybody have any more questions for me before I get off? But I truly hope that this life has supported you, and you are so, so welcome. You are so, so welcome. Check those out. I have a Purge the Poison series on there, and I have a plant-based mastery series on there. And if any of the links that I have on my socials or have talked about on YouTube or anything like that that are not posted in my socials link, you can send me a DM directly. I probably just took them down, and I'll send you a direct link to those things. But if there are no more questions, if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna go take my dog on a walk. I think we're gonna go to the lake, but I'm probably gonna eat me some hummus before I go. Oh, of course. So glad to help. I truly hope that everything that I have said was hopeful and encouraging. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can always DM me, or you can leave me a comment on any of my videos if you watch any of my videos and it just sparks something in you, and you need more information. But I truly, truly hope to support you. Oh, and I haven't said this also. If you currently right now, I do have a bundle going on. If you book a one-on-one with me, that gives you a success strategy, and going in plant-based and understanding how to go plant-based. I'm giving you a bundle currently right now that's going on with that one-on-one strategy that normally is priced over $200 by itself. You are getting that. You are getting my Purge the Poison ebook that I've talked about, and then you also get my transformation to a plant-based lifestyle masterclass that is going to show you the foundational steps to going plant-based and understanding what is going on inside of our food and understanding why you need to switch, and then giving you how it is time for you to make a change and how these things are going to help you in making a change. And so all three of those things for the price of one. And so that truly will support you, and that bundle is not going to last for long. So if you want to go ahead and grab that, I encourage you to do that so that you can book a one-on-one with me and we can start your success strategy so that you can start this today, because this is the perfect time, in my opinion, is to start now that we are in fruit season, especially like the favorite, because they're my favorite fruits. I feel like majority of people's favorite fruits are starting in this season because I love watermelon. And so this is the perfect time for you to start, because you can not only do your fruit and your vegetable like cleansing right now, you can get your organic fruits, and then on top of that, like, it'll be right around the time that you want to, stay a slim weight, or you want to stay the way that you are. Maybe you want to lose a little bit because it's summertime, and I like to wear my little bikinis or whatever. So it's like, it's time for us to start to realize that if we want to be healthy, if we want to look good, if we want to be vibrant, it starts with us taking action. And that action looks like you educating yourself, and either educating yourself to the point where, like I did, where you're studying for years, or investing back in yourself so that you can easily educate yourself with products and services like I have. So if you don't have any more questions for anybody that's on here, I'm about to hop off. Like I said, I think I'm gonna go get me some hummus. I can't even lie, because I really want some hummus. And I've not had any hummus in a couple of days. I said that I was gonna go to the lake and I was gonna try to fast until, I've been fasting until like 5 p.m. each day, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it today. I really think I do need a little pick me up. I love hummus. I absolutely love hummus. So I don't see any more questions, so I guess I'm about to hop off. I was trying to get out to the lake by like right now, but I said whatever, it is what it is. I'll get out to like 3 o'clock. It's fine. We'll be fine. But I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day and just enjoy. And I hope that this has supported you in understanding and making a shift. And maybe this will inspire you to make a change today. Maybe you'll make a better habit, make a small little change to better habits today. Oh, I hit the wrong thing and I don't know how to get off. Hold on, there we go. Hold on, there we go. All right.